And we start with a breaking news update. The world, viewers, is on edge and how the Ukraine war has gone beyond Kyiv. Now, this is with regards to the missile that has been dropped in Poland. And China has urged calm and restraint over the incident in Poland, says all parties should stay calm and exercise restraint under current circumstances. Let me go across to Srinjoy joining us with more details. Global responses coming in from across the world. Srinjoy, a very, very concerning piece of news. We continue to track this very closely, but take us through the reactions coming in.
Well, the Chinese, for once, have been very, very understanding about the whole thing. They have asked for calm, and that's exactly what should happen, because this is something which has just happened by chance. It's very tragic. 2 people have died in this missile strike, which happened completely by chance, because a Russian missile was coming in, and the Ukrainians tried to shoot it down with a SAM, a surface-to-air missile, and that missile missed and fell inside Poland, hitting people and killing 2 people. So that is what happened. It was completely by chance. The SAM missed the incoming Russian missile, which is why there were casualties in Poland. And the fact that it is a Ukrainian missile, not a Russian missile, not even a Russian missile fired by error, by mistake, is actually very helpful as far as the world situation is concerned. If the missile had been Russian, you had already seen that there had been a NATO meeting at the highest level, there had been a G7 meeting at the highest level. Things could have spiraled out of control. But fortunately, though it's a tragic incident, 2 people have been killed, fortunately there is less trouble ahead. Because of this, the Chinese have rightly asked for calm. It's absolutely necessary that there should be. But the fact that it was a Ukrainian missile which hit Poland is actually something which means that there will be fewer repercussions.
Right, but Srinjoy, what does it mean as far as, global leaders already there in Indonesia and Bali? I mean, the Chinese president is there himself as well. Even as the rest of the global leaders are huddling at the G7 summit and calling for an emergency meeting, it still remains to be seen exactly from where those missiles were fired from.
Well, if it's a Ukrainian missile, it was aimed at the Russian missile that was incoming. And because these are adjoining countries, Ukraine and Poland, it is possible that the missile fired from Ukraine went into Poland, because it was about 50 kilometers inside Polish territory. That's approximately what we are hearing. Now, the fact that if it is really a Ukrainian missile, then the additional repercussions that would have happened if it had been a Russian missile are being avoided very thankfully.
Okay, so this is likely to not have those kind of repercussions, and that's exactly what initial findings suggest, Srinjoy, that the missile was fired by Ukrainian forces at an incoming Russian missile. To this, President Joe Biden has also responded, who, remember, is in Bali for the G20 summit. He says early information suggests that the blast may not have been caused by a missile fired from Russia. Listen in.
While we're meeting, I mean, there were scores and scores of missile attacks into western Ukraine. We support Ukraine fully in this moment, and we have since the start of this conflict, we're going to continue to do whatever it takes to give them the capacity to defend themselves.
Mr. President, is it too early to say whether this missile was fired from Russia?
There is preliminary information that contests that. I don't want to say that till we completely investigate, but it is. It's unlikely in the minds of the trajectory that it was fired from Russia, but we'll see. We'll see.
Unlikely, sir. Mr. President, is Poland suggested invoking Article 4 or 5 from NATO, sir?
The suggestion is we're going to probably have a meeting of the ambassadors. So that looks like we're going to go to next. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, guys. Shinjar, coming back to you on that, because the US president clearly didn't take the name of Russia, but Poland already has, and in a way also summoned the Russian envoy or its ambassador for an explanation.
Yeah, that happened right in the beginning, in the early stages. Now you have President Biden, who is President of the United States, that is technically the head of NATO, making it very clear that it wasn't a Russian missile. Once it's not a Russian missile, then very clearly the situation is very different. It would be very different if it were a Russian missile, even if it had strayed from the target in Ukraine into Poland. It would have been very, very different. But the fact that it's a Ukrainian missile, then naturally it's a different story altogether. Biden making it clear that it was not a Russian missile. He didn't say it in so many terms or words, but he clearly suggested that it was not a Russian missile.
Okay, so that's the word coming in from President Biden.